Okay, good morning. Good morning and good morning and good morning to all. Sawadee ton chow. Sabay my cup. Kamyangay bang. There you go. There's my very traditional Thai. Okay, so let's just get into it here. Today we're going to talk about Thailand's reputation, about its image, because Lord knows nobody wants Thailand's image to take a hit, and it always does. But of course, the government is like, oh no, we don't want to affect the image of Thailand. We don't want the reputation to suffer. Well, guess what? In my opinion, it's suffering. Now, we've already covered some of these, some of the aspects of this, and we've covered some of this topic already. However, depending on your perspective, things may be getting better or they may be getting worse. In my opinion, they're not getting better. From the taxation concerns to banking restrictions to visa headaches, the ease of living here as a foreigner is slowly fading. Not for me necessarily, not yet, but you never know. But for new people coming in, yes, for at least temporarily. And let's be real. Let's really be real. The visual on this is not very good. The visual is really bad. And, you know, this is not just a minor inconvenience because the whole world sees what's going on here. And quite frankly, it sucks. And if you're thinking about living here or you're already here, really you got to pay attention to this. Just as I pay attention, you know, I don't watch much of the news back in the West or anything like that, but the one thing that I did hear is Donald Trump and Elon Musk speaking, and Elon Musk said something to the effect of, if we don't get it together, if we don't get our budget in line, there will be no health care, there will be no Social Security. And I went, huh? No Social Security? What are we talking about here? So you got to keep up to date a little bit with the news. And if you're in Thailand or you're looking at Thailand right now as a place to retire, you definitely need to pay attention to these changes. And you need to follow what's going on here. But let me get into something else here, and that is the weather. Right now, the exchange rate, 33.77 to the dollar. The air quality, 151. It just isn't getting better. Temperature, Celsius, right now it's 28, high of 33, low of 26. Feel like is 31. In Fahrenheit, for you people who don't know Celsius, 82.4 right now, high of 91.4, low of 77.8, and the feel like temperature is 87.8, and the humidity is a whopping 81%. I almost said 21%. 81%. Southerly and southeasterly winds will bring humidity from the South China Sea and the Gulf of Thailand, leading to scattered thunderstorms in northern Thailand. This is in the next couple days. And from February 23rd to the 25th, a cold air mass from China will spread over northeastern Thailand, combining with westerly winds from Myanmar. And what this means is thunderstorms, strong winds, and even hail in some areas, followed by a drop in the temperature of 2 to 4 degrees Celsius in the northeast and 1 to 2 degrees in the central and eastern regions, including Bangkok, which to me, the temperature drops 1 to 2 degrees Celsius. Not a big deal because it's starting to get hot here. And, you know, like I said, 91.4 is the high today, but I think yesterday or the day before it was about 95 degrees. And, it was like, okay, I really don't want to go outside and walk around. It's too damn hot. I don't want to go out there and sweat, and I'd rather go out. I go out early in the morning. And I think as you get older and as you start to learn about Thailand, you learn, hey, I don't want to be out in the middle of the day, like from 10 o'clock to about 3 o'clock. You don't want to be out because it's too darn hot. So I tend to go out early, and then I tend to go out or come back late. So that's the way it goes. Now, when I first moved here, I had an opinionated friend who slowly woke me up to the ways of Thailand. And I thought he was a bit harsh when he was telling me all the things that he was telling me. And he said a lot, but I've got a couple of things. I remember a couple of things that he said. One of the first things he told me was, he said, believe me, you think they're looking at you and they smile at you and they think you're great. Oh, he's so smart. He's so this, he's so that. Maybe they do. But he said there's a lot of them that look at you and they go, this guy's the devil. They look at you and think you're evil. And I went, what? Now, I understand. The average Thai probably doesn't care much about you. You do your thing, you get in and out of their life. Maybe you're with somebody like me. Okay, well, at this point, it doesn't matter where I'm from. I'm the husband, right? So I'm not looked at like that, and certainly not from my kids. But some of them, especially some of the more elite or more well-off, some of them look at you and they just go, you don't have the same things that we have. You are not as cultured. You are not as traditional. You are not as polite. That's what they think. Now, I'm not saying all people, I'm saying a small percentage, but to many, you are uncouth and undisciplined. And that's what they believe. You go with a bar girl, they see you out with a bar girl, they're not laughing at you because the bar girl is not good looking. The bar girl may be good looking, but they know, generally, if they're a bar girl, you're getting the bottom of the barrel. You're not getting some well-educated girl who you can be proud of, at least in the very beginning, right? Your girl may make something out of herself. She may be a bar girl, who knows? She may make something out of herself. She may be something special. Sometimes that happens. But they're looking at you and they go, this guy's from the richest country in the world, or one of the richest countries. He's got big money. They think that all of them think you got, fairly big money. There's a girl across the street. She sells, she's like from one of those mobile phone booths. She's got all kinds of mobile phones. She's got little headphones. She's got, film. She's got all kinds of stuff that goes for your phone. Now, I've been using her for quite some time. I use her and one other person that's over here. I like them both. If I'm in the mall, I tend to use the girl in the mall. If I'm across the street, I tend to use the girl across the street. But I know that in the mall, they charge me a little bit more. And the girl is very nice, very sweet. I love her. She's great. But the girl across the street, every time I say to her, she'll say to me, oh, this one 500 baht. And I always go, oh, no, that's expensive. And she'll go, no, you have big money. And I just go, honey, you think I got big money? Look at 4 out of 5 of my bank accounts. I definitely don't have big money. And you look at the other one and you go, it's all right, but it's nothing special. And that's what they tend to think. Now, one of the other things that he said is, they want your money, but they don't want you. And guess what? Think about it. They are profit driven. Not that most countries are not, or most people are not nowadays. You know, when you see somebody and they go, no, 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 I'm passing this up, I don't want it, and it's a chance of some big money, you go, why are you passing it up? Look at, what's his name, Dave Chappelle. He passed up, what, I don't even remember how much, $50 million or something. He passed it up because he didn't want to do it. It was too much. But here, they'd be, oh my God, you cannot do that. You have to take the money. They want your money, but they don't want you. And what they really wish, this is something else he said to me. What they really wish is that you would fly over in the plane, they would drop bags full of money, and then you would fly off. You wouldn't even stop in the country. You just go back to where you came from. That's what they really want. They don't care if you're here or not. It's not like, oh, I want to deal with these foreigners. Now, there are some people, of course, this is a generalization. But a lot of them, they're just thinking, money, money, money. That's why they want tourists. Now, if you think about it, expats put a lot of money into the system. And how are expats treated? Now think about that. Are they treated extremely well? No, not by the government. The people tend to treat other people, other expats, fairly well. But when it comes to the government, forget about it. Okay? They may be nice, they may not be. Depends on the situation. Right? So that's what they want. They want that profit, which, you can't blame them, but I think sometimes it's a little too much. So while it may be a stretch, what he was saying, the two things that he said to me may be a stretch. I don't dispute that. I think there are elements of truth to that. And again, to be clear, most Thais, they really don't care that you're here as long as you're contributing something to their society. Maybe you have a job, maybe you're helping support your wife or whatever it is. As long as you're doing something good for the country and you're not a criminal, then they're like, all right, whatever. They don't really care. Now, the elites and the people in power, the authorities, they might feel differently. And to some of them, the regular, everyday Thais and visiting foreign. Now think about this. The everyday Thai, the visiting foreigners, and the expats, in some way are a pawn for the elites and the governments. They use the masses for whatever purpose they want. Now sometimes it may be something great. And sometimes it's like, why are we doing this? And one thing I've learned over time in Thailand is that sometimes you're saying to yourself, why on earth are they doing this? What good is it? You don't know. Well, they may have some ulterior motive that you don't know about. And so I always think, when you think something can't happen in Thailand, guess what? It can happen. And it will happen. That's what I think, okay? Now, I spoke to my friend in Cambodia 2 days ago, and I told him about this, and he just laughed. He's like, I can't believe it. He's like, I can't believe it, but I believe it. Thais always do this sort of thing. In his words, Thais always have their head up their asses. Nothing is surprising. And to him, he's much better off in Cambodia, where you just, you walk up to the person, to the agent, you give him $290, boom, next day you got a visa. You don't have to worry about the bank account and this and that. Oh my God. And to be quite honest, in the beginning, I was like, no, it's not that difficult. It's not really that difficult. Right now, I'm going, oh, well, it's not that difficult for me. Now, think about it. if they were to say, we're going to make things difficult for foreigners trying to open up bank accounts, and it dragged along for a year or two, think about how many people that would affect. And so the visual is not good. Even right now, right this minute, the visual is not good. The taxation problem, even as minor as it may be, or not, this problem with the banks, these are just too many things that to the outside world, they don't care about, well, this is how Thailand is. No, they're like, I've seen people commenting already, numerous comments to me and to other people. Why would anybody have a Thai bank account when they're freezing accounts and they're doing all these things? And I'm like, well, I think it's because the majority of these people happen to be Burmese, Chinese, Thai, Laotian, Cambodian. I think that's the majority of the accounts. Now, some of them may be Westerners or Africans. I don't know. You know, I'm not privy to this kind of information. But I think that right at the moment, I think they went a little bit overboard. I think they went overboard, and now they're just trying to get anybody they can. Now, before I speak about this even more, before we get into it even more, do me a favor, do not forget to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future updates, whether it be videos or live streams. I have a video coming up tomorrow at 8 a.m. Check the description down below for my social media and all the ways you can help support the channel. And if you want to send a Dear Scott letter or book a consultation, send an email to anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. Got to say those things in the beginning. So anyway, let's get into it. The first thing that we really want to get into is this banking thing. We know that some banks have been with foreigners. I mean, listen, I have been here many years and I have many bank accounts, and I've gone into banks where I already have a bank account. I wanted to open banks for my kids when they were 16, and I was going to be on the bank account. And they wouldn't let me open the accounts, and I go, why not? I already have an account here. No, cannot. And then I said, these are my sons. I'm married to a Thai. Do I have to bring my wife down here? Oh, you married to Thai? Yes. You have papers? I said, they're right here. I have all the paperwork right here. What do you need? Oh, you married? Okay, no problem. I'm like, so why is it no problem because I'm married to a Thai, but it's a problem if I'm not? And I just think to myself, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Now, I understand they don't want tourists opening up bank accounts. Now, if it's a tourist who's coming here and they're researching something and they really have a plausible reason. Maybe they're like, okay, well, listen, I'm coming over here to check out the hospitals because I need to have a procedure done, and it's going to cost me a bunch of money, and I can't just carry it out of my country. It's going to cost me $40,000. How can I transfer it over here? Now, you can transfer it to a bank account. You don't have to have an account. You can do that. But why would you not be allowed to have an account? Now, as a straight-up tourist who's coming and going, and maybe you don't even get a visa. You just come here, you don't need a visa, you stay for 45 days or whatever, and you can get an extension. Well, you don't need a bank account. That's the reality. You don't need a bank account. The people who need a bank account live here. And I'll be honest, I'm very thankful that I have all the bank accounts that I have now. And yesterday I transferred a bunch of money to make sure, hey, I got money going into these accounts so they know, oh, we can't just close these because they're inactive. I want to make sure they know there's activity all the time. It's ridiculous. Some banks right now just are outright rejecting new customers. Even when they meet all the requirements, they can have everything that you're supposed to have, and the banks can go, no, cannot. It's up to the particular bank manager. And I've already told the story about how I have 2 Bangkok Bank accounts, right? I have 2 accounts, among others, other banks. But I wanted to open a bank in Pattaya. I go to one Bangkok bank. Sorry, cannot. You have 2 accounts. We cannot open more. I said, since when is there a limit on the number of accounts that I have? And 2 seems like I've never seen anything like that. So what? Oh, cannot, sir, cannot. They were just like, no, sorry. They're very rude. They were extremely rude. In fact, they just walked away from me. Like, nope, we're not even talking about it anymore. And I just went, and I just thought to myself, screw them. Good morning, Jim. I thought, screw them. I don't need them. They need me. I don't need their bank account. I was doing it for convenience. So when sometimes I go down to Pattaya, if I want, I can just go to the ATM. I don't have to pay a little transfer fee, which I've had to do in the past. So I go to another one. Oh, cannot, sir. You don't have work permit? I say, no, but I've lived here 30 years, and I've had a work permit, and I've had a marriage visa, and now I'm on a retirement visa. So why can I not open it up? Oh, no, you must have work permit. Okay, whatever. You know, I start to get a little bit pissed off, and then I think, you know, there's no use in getting pissed off. It's not going to do me any good. Now, I don't remember how I got this third place, but somebody told me, you should check this place out. I said, okay. And this was, Pattaya Bob was helping me. He was driving me around, and we were talking about this, and we were just going, oh my God. So we went into the third place, and the lady goes, okay, no problem. How much you deposit? I said, 500 baht. Oh, okay. And that was it. So, you know, I'm thinking to myself, what the? But I'm like, okay, this is how it is. I can go down the street, and they'll say, cannot open. And I'll say, okay, well, what do I need to open? You must have paper from embassy. Okay. I go get the paper from the embassy. I come back. Oh, sorry, cannot. I'm like, I paid $50 for this. You told me I can open the account. That happened to me once. And I just went, no, I don't need it. That was Bangkok Bank also. There used to be a Bangkok Bank right outside the door here. They closed that up. Now it's upstairs. There was one upstairs before. Now there's one upstairs in a different location. And I never go into it. I don't need to go into Bangkok Bank, and they are probably one of my least used banks. But whatever, okay? It's kind of ridiculous. Can't open a bank account after living there 30 years. Are they incompetents? Well, being here 30 years doesn't mean much to the government, to whoever it may be. It doesn't really mean a whole lot. And, you know, I kind of take offense at that. I mean, I cannot become a permanent resident, and I cannot become a Thai citizen because I'm not working. I'm not paying into their system. I'm like, okay, let's figure out the taxes for each year. And say for 10 years, you tell me how much it is, I'll pay it, and then I should be able to become a permanent resident. That's how I think. You want a little bakish, a little tea money? Maybe that'll help. But I was told by an agent, by a lawyer, I was told, well, they may not allow you the first time, then you may have to put forward another, say, $25,000. And I'm like, I don't need to do this. I don't need Thailand. I mean, I live here, okay, great, and I love it here. But let's differentiate something. There are the people of Thailand, the lifestyle of Thailand, and then there are things like red tape. the bureaucracy. Separate those. Now, the government, it's, I can do without it. I don't really care. I have no say. I cannot vote. I have no rights here. And that's the truth. I have very few rights here compared to a Thai citizen. Okay, fine. But then, don't ask to tax me, which still is not really formalized yet. And then why would you not allow somebody to have a bank account? So I go in, I've been here for 30 years, and I can't, if I want to open up a bank account, I should just go, listen, here's my my passport, here's another form of ID, here's a couple of bank books from other banks. What else? Here's my certificate of residency, my address. What else do you need? Oh no, cannot open. So the way that I look at it, for somebody coming in, some new guy, let's say Jono. No, I didn't blow my top up, okay? See, I'm a lot smarter than that. That's the thing that you have no idea about. While I may be talking shit right now, when I went in, it's cop, and that's it. I don't have to get pissed off, because getting pissed off will do nothing for you. Getting pissed off, it's like, when they say you get more flies with honey than vinegar. Well, I believe that, especially here. And, after 30 years, I think I've learned a little bit. I don't know about you, but that's my own way of thinking. Oh, God. How long have you lived here, Akram? Tell me about it. Tell me how I should live here, how I should hold my temper all the time. I already know not to lose my temper here. It does nothing for you. The only thing it does is piss them off, and then they will shy away from you. They may not even talk to you. They may just leave. I've seen that happen many times. I saw it happen in Cambodia once. A guy was with his Thai girlfriend. He starts shouting at the cashier in the exchange booth. I gave you this, I gave you that, you're ripping me off. And the girl was standing there. Oh, she's like in pain from watching this guy. And I said to the guy, I go, yelling at him isn't going to do any good. Look at him. He doesn't care, There you go. There it is there. Now, let me go on here. Unbelievable. Let's see if I can find my information that, here it is. Find that information that I had. People who already have accounts are getting hit with stricter regulations, random freezes, or demands for additional documentation. Now, I've had that happen to me before, where I had demands for additional documentation. Now, in one place, I got pissed. This is, 15 years ago. I don't know, maybe not that long, maybe 10 years ago. I got pissed. It was Thai, at the time it was Thai Military Bank. And they were asking me for my passport. I said, okay, no problem, give them their passport, my passport. They start copying every page of my passport. I go, what are you doing? Oh, we're copying your passport. I said, what do you need every page of my passport? Why do you need that? You need my visa page, you need my front page, and that's about it. You don't need it. You need the extension of stay. You don't need anything else. Eventually I got everything taken care of, but that was kind of an irritant. What do you need to copy every single page of my passport, which at the time my passport was like, this is when they just added pages to your passport. They didn't give you a new passport in the United States. And I had 10 passports. My passport was like this thick. And she's trying to copy every page. And I'm like going, I'll be here for 5 hours when this chick makes copies. Unbelievable. Without a local bank account, managing finances here becomes a nightmare. The government isn't banning expat banking, but some banks act like they are. There is no law, there is no policy that says, for now, foreigners are banned from opening bank accounts. So you may very well go into a place and they may say, okay, yeah, no problem. And you're like, oh, really? Okay, cool. Unbelievable. That's why I don't bank here. Living is just fine. Well, you know, I'd like to say that that's a great way to think, but I don't think it is. To me, you keep a minimal amount of money here. Whatever you need to live for, say, a month, maybe 2 months. You know, if you've got $50,000 baht of expenses here, keep 75,000 baht in the bank. But don't keep, you know, if you've got, you know, 400,000 sitting in America in 3 or 4 different accounts, don't transfer it all over into a Thai bank account. I would never recommend that. To me, that's stupid. There have been multiple reports of foreigners waking up to find their bank accounts frozen with no explanation. Others are being told they need to show proof of income or jump through ridiculous hoops just to keep their accounts open. Because the banks are either worried about government policies or they simply don't want, this is the thing, they don't want to deal with foreigners anymore. They could say, oh, you know, it's too much of a problem for us. We don't want to deal with them anymore. And you know what's funny? When they're low on money, when their country needs money, they're really in need. None of these things happen. But once they start getting a little money, all of a sudden it's, you know, oh yeah, we want tourists, and the expats, That's the attitude that they may have. I believe the individual branches interpret, yes, every branch interprets things differently. Well, an ATM isn't going to cause you any issues, Jim. I don't think I've ever had anything like that. They've never done anything for me. When I needed a new ATM card, I could go to any branch and they just gave me one. I use Wise for much of my daily expenses, including rent, tuition, groceries. My Thai wife has a Thai account. When I need cash, I ask her to go to the ATM for me. How do you get money in Thailand then? Can you not just put your foreign bank card in an ATM? Well, of course you can, but you lose money on the exchange. And it's about anywhere from a 1.5% to like, or maybe 1% to like 3%. So you're losing that money every time you bring it over. Plus, you have the bank fees, which some banks charge. My bank doesn't charge any fees, and they reimburse the Thai fees, which, you know, here in Thailand now, they charge you about $6.50. I think it's 220 baht. Although I think Aeon, or whatever you say it, I don't think they charge, but I never use them. They're not really a bank per se, but why would I use a currency exchange? I use Wise, and sometimes I will take money out of the account and just get cash, or I just pay with my card in America. But the exchange rate is not as good. Now, if I transfer money over by Wise, then the money gets in my account. Usually what I do is I leave a little bit in the accounts, you know, maybe 20,000 baht. I take the rest out, I put it in my pocket, I put it in a drawer in my house, in an envelope, and that's it. Well, I mean, listen, Wise takes a percentage, you still got to pay. You're always paying. You're always going to pay on that exchange. That's just the way it goes. So, you know, unless you're carrying, well, even if you're doing that, you're gonna lose money on the exchange here. So, you know, that's something you always have to think about. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, you're always going to lose money on the exchange. I mean, you know, that just goes without saying. Oh, God. Yeah, try doing that. Try bringing bars of gold. They don't want your gold here. To be honest, they probably don't want your gold here. You're better off buying Thai gold. And how are you going to do that? Oh, I'll just pay with my credit card. Yeah, you can, but you're going to lose money on the exchange. So let's stop talking about that. That's a ridiculous subject. You can't get out of it. If you're living here and suddenly cannot access your money, what would you do? Well, that's why, first of all, I have 7 different bank accounts, and that's why I tend to put a minimal amount in each one, enough to where I go, okay, if I lose this, then what am I going to do? And I can always go, okay, back to the U.S. I'll take money out from my U.S. account. If I really need it, I can have money sent to me. It really wouldn't bother me. But you know, for some people, they have one bank account, so they got to try to figure out an alternative. And you know, if you make a bank transfer, there's a fee for that. It's $35, $45. But if you do it through Wise, it's cheaper, but you have to set up the accounts. You have to have a bank account here. You have to have a bank account there. You know, I mean, it takes some time to get it all set up. And I love Wise. It's great. But this is a way that not just Thailand, if any government wants to do anything to you to where they restrict you, all they have to do is restrict your flow of money. And, you know, not too long ago, PayPal was here in Thailand. Oh, I used to get PayPals all the time. Oh, yes, it was great. I did get PayPals. However, about, I think it's a year and a half, 2 years ago, they sent out a message. Sorry, in your know your customer setup here with the Thai banks, you must have a business account in order to have this PayPal account continue. Well, it wasn't a business account. For many people, they had personal accounts. And they don't want to start a business here where they have to show everything. So guess what? No more PayPal. Very few people have PayPal accounts here. And if they do, they have like a US account or a British account or something like that. So, you know, here you can't get, I used to have a Thai account. Guess what? I still have the Thai account. I can't use it though. So, you know, what am I going to do? Oh, let me make a transfer by PayPal. Oh, sorry, I can't do that. Now, this is not just paranoia. This is happening to very real people. I personally think the majority of people that things are happening to tend to be, as I said, the Asians who are involved with the call center scam or may have been connected in some way. I don't think they're purposely setting out to get foreigners. But I think in the process of what they're doing, for legality's sake, they're making it difficult because they don't want to have to worry about new people ghosting or setting up mule accounts or whatever it is they call it. They don't want to have to worry about that. So that's why they're saying, hey, you know, make it difficult. Make sure you know why they're opening an account up. Crazy, man. Wise is the most reasonable option. It is a reasonable option. Well, Wise is now issuing a U.S. physical cards. I thought just about a couple of weeks ago they started issuing them again. That's what I heard, and that I know somebody who has one. He just got it. Revolut. I used to have Revolut. I don't know what happened. What happened was they stopped allowing U.S. customers, and I was like, well, that sucks. So I just didn't use them anymore. And then, like, you know, a year and a half later, 2 years later, they go, oh yeah, now we're gonna take U.S. customers. And I was like, my card isn't good anymore. What do I need them for? I got Wise. Wise is great. I don't care. I mean, I should set it up again, just in case. You know, but unfortunately, banking regulations cast a wide net and negatively impact law-abiding citizens. Yeah, I know they do. Once you set your Visa and finances up, the processes are pretty simple to follow. I don't know what Kaya and AML is about, track and trace. I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, let's continue. Let us continue. Let's see. There are new reports of, know your customer. I don't know what AML is. New reports of expats getting their accounts closed or frozen, sometimes without warning. I don't know anybody who's had their account frozen, and I don't know anybody who's been warned. I haven't seen anything about it. Imagine waking up one morning, going to buy groceries, and your card is declined. You check your banking app, account frozen. Now that would piss me off. That would really piss me off. You call the bank and they tell you you need more documents, but they won't tell you why your account was flagged. This is the reality for many expats now. Now, I sure hope not. But it gives me reason to carry cash and pay with cash instead of using a QR code. And now I do have a Thai American Express card, and I'm wondering how that will be affected if they were to decide to crack down on everything. Should I keep money? Should I pay it off every month? What's the way that I should be doing things here? Some foreigners are even reporting that their credit cards or debit cards linked to Thai banks are being denied abroad. Well, that's been happening for a long time. Sometimes all you need to do is go into the system, into your banking, behind the wall or whatever we'll say. Go into your bank account, whether it's through your app or online. Some banks don't even have online accounts anymore, online banking. Like SCB doesn't have a website where you can use it. But you can go in and it'll say, do you allow overseas transactions? You have to click and say yes. What's the greatest amount that you'll allow? 1 million baht. How much can you, and it will allow you there's certain criteria, and you can just pick what you want. That's how it works. At least that's how it has worked. So some people may not know about that, and that's why they're not able to use their credit card or their debit card abroad. But it may be because they're doing things and, they're checking things out. They want to check who's naughty and who's nice. People on vacation in their home countries, they pay their home, in their home countries for a visit, suddenly find they can't access their money. The frustration is real. This is not the Thailand that welcomed foreigners with open arms. And the thing is, I've had this happen to me before, but it wasn't the Thai banks, it was the U.S. banks. I was here, I talked about this before, and I would be here, and all of a sudden, I'd go to the bank, I'd go to try to take out some money, or I'd go to pay for something, and they would say, sorry, cannot use your card. Sorry, please contact your bank. And the bank would be closed. And I'd be like, what, what am I supposed to do? So then I had to wait. I couldn't get the money out then. I remember one time I was out in the country and I desperately needed money. I had like 500 baht in my pocket. And I couldn't find an ATM that worked. All the ATMs in this little place were not working. I was like, what the? Unbelievable, man, But I remember trying to take money out, and I was like, wait, what am I going to do? So finally, I called them up, my bank in the U.S., and I said, why are you blocking my account? Oh, it's for your own protection. I go, I don't want you to protect me. Yes, sir, but, we're trying to protect you because you're overseas. I know, I live overseas. You have my address in the U.S., you have my address in Thailand. You should know this. I live in the United States only for like a month out of the year, which was BS. I'm only there for like maybe 2-3 weeks at the most. Air quality sucks today. Terrible. So I'm trying not to think about it, but my nose can smell it. But yeah, I had to call them up and get them to release the lock the hold that they had on my account. Then I was able to take some money out. Then I was able to spend money. And then guess what? A couple of days later, boom, locked again. And I'm like, Okay, so now I got to call them again. I got to waste my time on the phone, which I'm lucky because I have the Magic Jack, which you pay $49 a year, and you can call anywhere in the U.S., any phone, cell phone, landline, whatever it is, anywhere in North America. You can call, and you don't pay for it because you already paid the $49 for a year. You don't pay anything. So I could sit on the phone for an hour and wait for them, and that's what I did. Finally, I get them to put a little thing in my account that said, do not lock his account or whatever, and then they stopped blocking it. And I was like, now it's pretty standard procedure because a lot more people are moving overseas. Unbelievable. All right, the other thing that we have to talk about, I'm not going to talk about this yet, but let's talk about this one. Visa rules. Is it becoming too much of a hassle? Now, I can tell you one thing. If you don't have a bank account and you're new and you're coming over here, okay, well, great. You know, I got everything started here. I'm going to go over. I've got a police report. I've got this. I've got that. You go over. I just need to go to open my bank account. I've heard that this one at this location is supposed to be good with foreigners. You go in and they go, no, sorry. Now you have to wait. Cannot. You know, and then you're like, so what, I can't move over here? And you just go, listen, after a while people go, and this is what they're doing. People go, what do I want to live in Thailand for? Fuck Thailand. That's what people are saying. I'll go to Vietnam. I'll go to Cambodia. I'll go to the Philippines. I'll go to Malaysia. I'll go to Bali. Or I'll go somewhere in Europe, or I'll go somewhere like Ecuador or wherever, Costa Rica. I'll go somewhere else. Mexico, because they want my money. They're going to let me stay here. Listen, I just went to Da Nang. Da Nang's all right. Maybe if I was single, I'd live there. I don't know. Something about that. It just doesn't have the same draw as Thailand once did. Now, with the visas, a big problem is that they are starting to tighten all the visa rules. There have been more stories of people getting rejected for retirement visas, education visas, and other long-term options. And some embassies are making it harder if you don't have all your paperwork in order. And then it's like, okay, you have to do this again. And you're like, Jesus Christ, I spent a week on this. Now I got to go and do it all over again. And, you know, at some point you just go, now listen, I'll tell you something. This is an example to me of something that the government gets involved in. They don't think it through. And then I'm the one who suffers. Okay? Now, I used my parents' address as my mailing address in the United States. Anything I can't mail to Thailand, I mail to them, and either they mail it to me or they hold on to it, whatever, or they just, you know, if I tell them, okay, open that one up, give me the code, give me the number, whatever it is. Whatever we have to do, we do, right? Now, so my address is there. Now, I voted. Now, your voter registration is linked to your address, correct? So, I have a mailing address in my voter's registration that says it's here, Thailand. It gives my exact address. But the address on the voter's registration where I vote is out of Thailand, out of Florida, excuse me. Okay, I got the vote. I voted the last 3 elections. And before then even, but I don't remember doing it. I just remember I had to fax everything in. I had to send a fax to get my vote in. Because you can either mail it or fax it. That's the only way you can do it where I come from. So, my mother tells me the other day, you have a notice that says you're being summoned to jury duty. I said, well, that's strange, but okay. What do I need to do? Well, you need to contact them and tell them you can't come. Okay, no problem. I'm thinking, no problem, right? So she gives me all the information. I go to the website. I look at everything. It says, if you live in a foreign country, if you are living outside of the United States or out of the state, here's what you can present us. Driver's license, state ID, voter registration. I said, wait a minute. I don't have a driver's license. Haven't had one in years. I had a state ID. It had my parents' address on the state ID because they can't put a Thai address on there. So that would not have done any good. And anyway, it's expired. And I wasn't able to renew it. So that leaves voter registration. Now I'm thinking, how am I going to get a voter's registration card that has my mailing address on it in Thailand? Well, guess what? You can't. So I go in and I go into the place where it says update your address. And I send a PDF, which is what they say. You got to send us a PDF by mail, by fax, or by email. Okay. I send them that. Now I call them up and they say, yeah, this is not going to be any good. The PDF of your voter's registration is not going to work. I said, so then what am I supposed to send you? I don't live in the country. I haven't lived in the country in 30 years. Oh. Do you have anything that says that you live there? I said, well, I have a visa in my passport. I have an extension of stay. I can show you. I can show you the stamp in my passport. So I send them like 3 pictures with their email that they sent me that said I need to send this information in, so they know this is coming from me and it's legit. I send it to them. Then this morning I get a message back and it says, where is this here? Oh, what did I do? I put it to the from. Hang on. Good morning. We will be happy to assist you. Now, I already spoke to someone last night, and they assisted me. We have postponed your date to May 27th, 2025, to give you more time to provide the required documents. You will receive a letter in the mail stating we have postponed your date. If you have any questions, please reply to this email or call our office at whatever, 9 a.m. to 4:20 p.m. Monday through Friday. Now, let me see something here. So, I sent them a message back. I mean, it says very, very clearly the photos I sent them in large format, so they are big enough to where you can see them, with the email from the jury. The jury, people who take care of the what's it called, jury services. And I said, well, thank you for the extension, but from now to then, nothing is going to change. I'll still be living in Thailand. I did send you my visa information. Did that not suffice? You're postponing the date until May 27th. Then what? I've already told you I do not have a driver's license or state ID. And as far as the voter's registration, again, the address is my parents' address and the mailing address is in Thailand. What other documents would you like me to submit? So now I'm waiting for them to get back to me. But as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing I can do. And so I told the lady, I go, listen, if I can't provide the documents to you, then what? You issue a warrant for my arrest? So when I'm going home on vacation, I got to worry about being pulled over by a cop? Not that I'll be driving, but I have to worry about any situations arising. And he goes, oh, can I have your ID? Well, all I have is a passport, buddy. And they search me, and then they find out, oh, you were supposed to go to jury duty. Listen, pal, I live in Thailand. What do you want me to do? And that is exactly the kind of thing that they do here in Thailand. You get painted into a corner, and there's nothing you can do. What happens if you just ignore them if you get future jury summons? No, they issue a bench warrant for your arrest. Oh, God. Don't be stupid. You don't get a jury duty summons in Thailand. If they saw that I lived in Thailand, they wouldn't send me a jury duty summons. They thought because my U.S. address, I used my parents' house as my U.S. address, that I live there. And I told them, I don't live there. That's just so that my parents can get any of the mail that I need to have sent to me in Thailand. It's just crazy. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm just going to keep saying to them, I can't give you what you want. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll just take your word for it. The warrant is not binding. Nothing will happen. Yeah. Okay, once they arrest, I still don't want to be arrested. Do you understand that? Now, Thailand doesn't send me anything. I can't vote in Thailand. Why would they send me jury duty? Anyway, I didn't mean to change the subject too much, but Thailand has always had somewhat complicated paperwork documents for your visa, but it's getting much worse now. More documents, more money, more red tape. I still remember almost 30 years ago, I'd walk into Nana Plaza, turn left, go up the little stairs, boom, there's a little visa service place there. You'd say, I want a 1-year visa. Okay, boom, you give them the money, boom, the next day, you got a 1-year visa. Piece of cake. Now it's not there anymore, but it used to be a piece of cake, and I used to go, why do I want to fill out all these papers and do all this bullshit when I just go to an agent and pay him the money? I was like, that was so easy. Those were the days. Now, there's also the question of enforcement, people getting random checks, financial proof, you got to show them that, being denied for their extension. I don't know anybody who's been denied for their extension, but, you know, it can happen. And generally you think, oh, I'll just go to immigration and sort it out. The problem here in Thailand, first of all, is the inconsistencies. You can deal with one guy and he'll go, okay, no problem, come on through. Have a nice day. And then you deal with another guy and he's like, no, this is no good. Remember when they used to issue the United States used to issue income affidavits? This is like, I don't know, 10 years ago. I got my income affidavit. I did have my bank statement, which I didn't need. But I had that just in case, because I always bring more paperwork than what I think. So I bring my income affidavit. I go in. 2 years in a row, I'd gone in there. Yes, no problem. Here, let me just sign that. Boom, you're done. Okay. You're good for another year. This guy, you know, I go in, I don't say a word until they speak to me. And then they speak to me, cop, yes. Oh, okay, yep, no, tang non leo, cop, oh, okay. Yes, I'm married, oh, my wife, you know, she very good. You know, whatever they want to talk about. And then he sees the affidavit and he goes, no good. He throws it out. Now, I spent $50 to get that. And I'm like, you tore it up? And I'm like ready to rip his head off. I'm thinking, what did I pay for that for? And he goes, oh, you have to give me the bank statement. And I went, okay. Gave him the bank statement. And I was like, you know, that's what they do. It could be on the border. You could be on some border and the guy goes, all right, have a nice day. Farang, oh, you very good. Oh, I love America. They're very happy. Yes. Then you go to another guy and the guy's like, no, you cannot come in. Unbelievable. So you can't always sort it out just by going to immigration. And for those people who want to take border runs to extend their stay, they are not reliable, because at any time they can tell you, sorry, you can't do a border run anymore. And I can tell you from years ago, I remember a guy, he used to come into the stream all the time, and he used to talk to me. I don't know what these students are coming in here for. Big fun, big fun. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway. What was I saying? Somebody remind me. I don't remember what I was saying. The focus is not on Chinese people. I have no idea what slavery has to do with what you're talking about, buddy. No idea. Nothing. And being Chinese, one thing that people don't understand, Thais would rather deal with a Chinese person than with you, because some of them are part Chinese. Yeah, whatever you go across the border, some guys will just go, no, you can't come in. Oh, I remember what it is. And so, I see what you're saying. This guy used to say, oh, I just get a tourist visa and renew my visa that way, and I got to do a visa run. Okay, no problem. I just go for a couple of days and come back. And, I said to him, listen, at some point they might pull you up, they're going to tell you, you need to get a retirement visa, you need to get a marriage visa, you need to get an education visa, you need to get a media visa, you need to get a business visa, or you need to get an elite visa, whatever it may be. But you're not going to be coming in over and over again and leaving every 90 days and then coming right back after, a day. So then one day he comes in, he goes, well, they pulled me up. They pulled me up and said I'm not allowed to stay if I don't get myself a proper visa. He's like, I have a proper visa. I'm here legally. I'm like, no, you're not. You got to understand something. They don't give a shit about what you think. What they care about is for the masses. They care about all the people. They care about the good of Thailand, which, now in America, it seems like that's what we're doing. We're thinking about America first, which is a good thing. You start giving everybody your groceries from your house. Eventually, your refrigerator has no food left. And you're like, oh, what am I supposed to eat? They told them, get a retirement visa. You have, 30 days. Because at the time it was, you get 60 days and then you renew for 30 days. Hey, Sammy, what's happening? What it be like? So he's like, I don't want to get a retirement visa. I'm like, well then, you're going to have to find some other option. Get an education visa. Well, I want to get an education visa. You're not married to a Thai, so what are you going to do? You got no choice. Get a retirement visa. Well, I'm not going to do that. They're not going to force me into... They're kicking me out. I'm like, they're not kicking you out. They're saying you need to get everything taken care of so that you meet their criteria. You meet the requirements that they want. And I didn't think it was a big deal, because You cannot come in and out of the country for 20 years, which is what used to happen, as a tourist. You can't do that. Now, in the old days, people used to do just that. And they didn't care, because as long as the people coming in are able to take care of themselves, as long as they pay whatever is required, they were like, okay, no problem. But guess what? They're not in that frame of mind any longer, because Thailand has more money now. It has more money than 30 years ago. I'm a milky farang. Dude, where do you live? Sammy, thank you. This guy, to me, you know, I don't think he had the money. He kept saying that, oh, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. And I said, well, what is the problem? I don't mean that you're English. Where are you now? In the UK? Have you ever been to Thailand? Do you really plan on coming here? You're 40 years old. You got another 10 years until you're retired. If you're retired fully now and you have money, get an elite visa. But you've never been here. You have no idea what you're talking about. See, there's something that I call feet on the ground. My feet on the ground for 30 years is far surpasses your looking online and researching things. And, you know, it's just the way that it is. If you were here for 30 years, the same thing would apply. But when you don't know what you're talking about, you know, you're going to come here and you're going to be like, a fish out of water, man. It's going to take you a year before you start learning the ins and outs. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not joking. I mean, that's the thing. It's going to take you a year before you know anything. And you're already starting to think about moving here, but you haven't even been here. So how do you know you really want to move here? My suggestion is come here for a couple of months and then see if you want to move here and live here forever, or part-time or whatever. All right, let me just continue here because I keep getting backtracked. Yeah, well, okay, we talked about the border runs, and this guy never got his retirement visa, and guess what? He got thrown out of Thailand. You can say that. He wasn't allowed to come back into Thailand. And he was pissed. And I'm like, what are you pissed off for? They present the criteria. This is a criteria that countries all over the world have. And because you don't want to meet the criteria, well, then you're not allowed to come back in. Simple as that. All right, now let me get back to the taxation issues. The elephant in the room. I've lived for 3 years, still considers me a newbie. Well, you are kind of, but... You know, it used to be, in immigration, it used to be that you had to go in long pants and a decent shirt. Now you got these guys going in there, you know, they're vloggers from, you know, like, well, it's my first time, I'm renewing. And they go in a pair of shorts and flip-flops, like cheap bathroom flip-flops. And I think the immigration people are just going, oh my God. You know, they're just like, ugh. Because, you know, if they really want, they can go, hey, you're not allowed to come in here dressed like that. But they don't do that anymore. Now people go in shorts all the time, you know, and it used to be, I mean, I went in one time, this is 25 years ago or so. I went in a pair of shorts. I mean, I was looking, you know, all right. I was decent, clean cut. And they go, you need to wear long pants the next time you come in here. And I went, oh. And I always remembered that. I don't think that they would get the humor of a bow tie. I don't think they would even care. Jesus. All right, let me keep going here. Got a nice turnout today. Hello, everybody. So what the cop? So now, that's dressing up. Listen, I think I've worn a pair of jeans like twice in the last 3-4 years. Now, I used to, I got into a habit of going out in jeans all the time. I got like 8 pairs of jeans, and I just thought, oh, they fit me pretty good. All right, well, let me see. So I started wearing them around, and I'd wear them with a t-shirt or whatever, and I thought, okay, no problem. And then, it started getting hot, and I went, And then I have no reason to wear long pants. I don't have to go to these, like I used to wear a suit. I used to wear long pants, I used to wear a suit. Now I don't have reasons to do that. So, if I'm going to the zoo, I'm going to wear a pair of shorts and sandals. Now, the Thai government has made it clear that they are trying to enforce stricter tax rules, and maybe this means enforcing them on expats and retirees. It's still not clear. And I don't profess to be a taxation guy. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an agent. It's just my point of view. But if this happens, it means foreign income, money earned outside of Thailand becomes taxable. Now, I'm not really worried about it because my Social Security will never be taxable. It's only, if it's going to ever be taxed, it will be taxed by the United States, but that's not going to happen. So, as far as this tax thing goes, everybody's talking about it, and to be honest, just talking about it makes people worry. And even though things are unclear right now, and I personally don't think that if you're some guy making, $25,000, $30,000 a year, and maybe you're bringing in half of that, you're spending from wherever you are and from wherever the money is, and you're bringing in half of that, they're not going to come after you to get their tax money. They don't do that with Thais for whatever reason. But it could mean that this money becomes taxable. And this would hit retirees and digital nomads and people with passive income. It would hit them hard. Now, I can tell you, they're never going to get any tax money out of me. There's no way. Because first of all, they can't tax the Social Security. And second of all, I'll figure out a way where the money that I spend, I'll bring in, if I have to bring in $10,000, $20,000 a year on a trip when I go to the United States, I'll bring that money in. I just won't tell anybody, and it'll sit, in a safe or something in my house, But I'm not going to pay any tax to them because I don't think they deserve it. What do I get from my tax dollars? My tax bot. I get nothing. Now, imagine you've been retired here for years and you budget yourself on a fixed income, only to be told that you owe a portion of it to Thailand. What do? Do you pay up? I guess maybe it depends. Is it only, a little bit? Is it 5,000 baht? Is it 3,000 baht? Okay, that's a relatively small amount. But guess what? It could grow into something larger later on. You don't know. The affordable lifestyle in Thailand, it's still affordable. But slowly but surely, it's becoming less affordable, and it's not necessarily Thailand's fault. There's inflation in Thailand, but there's inflation everywhere. So, you have to think of that. Some countries like the U.S. already tax their citizens on worldwide income, but for many expats, moving to Thailand means getting away from high taxes and expensive living costs. If Thailand starts taxing foreign income, you can bet that a lot of people will start packing up and looking for a better option. And again, we're talking about this taxation problem. We're talking about the problem with banks. Now imagine you're going to come over to Thailand and you want to retire to Thailand. It's a beautiful Thailand. And now you hear, oh, well, guess what? You bring in $50,000 a year, you're going to be taxed on that. Yeah, but I already paid tax back in. Oh, yeah, but you're going to have to get a tax attorney. You're going to have to figure this out. You're going to have to. Well, that kind of sounds like a pain in the ass. Okay, well, maybe. And then they go, oh, by the way, you can't open a bank account right now. So that person's going to go, you know what? I'm just going to go to the Philippines, or I'm going to go to Ecuador, or I'm going to go to Costa Rica or Mexico or wherever it is. What do I need Thailand for? See, this is the thing that Thailand doesn't understand. While Thailand has a lot of things here that are really great, there's a lot of people that just go, you know what? It's not worth it to me. I don't care. I don't care how beautiful something is. There are other beautiful places in the world that I can go. This taxation issue is a slippery slope because if they tax foreign income and then they increase the rates, then they may want even more foreign financial disclosures. And where does it end? And this is the thing, nobody knows. But and it's this uncertainty. Instead of promoting the uncertainty and not being sure and leaving it out there for all of the expats to think, oh, what's going to happen? Lay down the law, man. Hey, this is the way it's going to be. Hey, you will never pay taxes in our country. Boom. Well, you say that, but that's not how they think. Really. Because what matters is how much you're taxed in the United States. And then whatever you're bringing over here, they look at it and they go, it may or may not fall under that dual treaty. And this is what I mean. You may need, if things get really difficult, if you're somebody who has a lot of money and you're spending a shitload of money. I've talked to people here, they're making 300, 400,000 baht a month, which is not a huge amount, but it is a fair amount. I used to make between 120 and 200,000 a month. At one point. But guess what? That money came to me. It was all for me. I didn't pay shit. I didn't have to. When I visited Thailand in the mid-70s, the Farang were quality rather than quantity. Well, I think right now, they're worried about the Indians, the Chinese, the Russians. They want the numbers. Because the numbers, well, that's what they want. They want the 40 million. And what I said was, listen, they're inching towards that 40 million now. What happens if they hit 50? I personally don't want to go to Pattaya. I don't want to go to Phuket. I don't really want to go to Chiang Mai unless I'm going somewhere where there are no foreigners. And I just saw a thing about some of the most over-tourist, what was the word that they used? Over-touristed places in the world. And three of them were Pattaya, Phuket, and Krabi. Now, the last time I went to Krabi, it was one of the least visited places because I went during the COVID. Nobody was even wearing a mask. You're walking around on the beach. I took a boat for 1,000 baht, went to all these islands, went walking around. I had a great time. It's fantastic. But guess what? Not now. I don't want to be around a million other tourists because it's not just tourists. I understand that there are tourists and maybe, you're going to run into some fellow Americans. You're going to run into this. You're going to run into that. Fine. But when you start having millions of Indians, Chinese, Russians, now you start, there's such masses, and you know what? They stick together. All of them stick together. You're constantly seeing things in the news about Thais and Indians fighting. For some reason, the Indians, they the Thais probably look at it as they're disrespecting me in my country, and then they've got to fight the Indians, and the Indians are going, oh, I'm not going to let him get away with that, and so they fight. Well, they are supposed to be paid income tax, but I know very few people who pay a lot of income tax here. Really, I mean, I think I told you guys about the one girl that I know, and she probably makes, I don't know, 30 to 40,000 a month. And I said to her, do you pay taxes? And she just kind of shut up. I go, well, you're supposed to pay taxes. And she just, that was it. She didn't say anything else. And I go, so you're telling me you don't pay taxes? And she goes, if they're not going to come after you, why do you want to pay? Privilege visa makes sense if one has money. I don't know. Why would it? You think you're not going to be subject to everything that everyone else is subject to? Well, what's funny is I hear, oh, I don't want to live in tourist areas. Of course. That's why I don't like to go out that much anymore, because everywhere I go is a tourist area. Listen, if I go on the Chao Phraya, I go on the boat. All right, the one time I went on the electric boat on the, I forget what it's called, it was the ferry or whatever. I was the only one on the boat. And then maybe one or two other people, they were Thais, came onto the boat. Right? There were no foreigners. But if you go on like the Orange Line or something like that, the whole boat is full of foreigners. And I'm like, here I am. Oh, สวัสดีครับทำยังไง Oh, ไปไหนครับเท่าไหร่ครับ I'm speaking Thai to them. I'm not even thinking about speaking English, because I really don't want to talk to the foreigners. And every once in a while a foreigner will go, oh, excuse me, can you tell me? Yeah, it's over that way. Okay, thank you. That's fine. But I don't want to be around them. I'm not a tourist. I live here. And as such, I expect to kind of live in a way where, I don't live like a tourist. I'm not paying tourist prices for a piece of chicken. Oh yeah, I reply in Thai. I mean, why would I want to subject myself to this kind of garbage? I go to Phuket. The last time I went to Phuket, I'm walking down the street, man. There are Russians and, well, there's a lot of Burmese, but they were workers. There's a lot of Russians, Europeans, and I'm like, I just didn't feel it, man. It wasn't the same. I went to Khao Lak during the COVID. There's nobody there. It's just me. I'm like, yeah, this is fantastic. I got this place to myself. I went to Kanom. I went to Sichon. These places are not tourist places, although Kanom and Sichon may be tourist places now. I don't know. And that's the problem. If I put a video up of some place and there aren't foreigners there, after I put a video up, there will be more foreigners there. And it's not just me. After other people put videos up, there will be more foreigners coming there. But I tell you what, I have noticed that Kanom is a place that a lot more people go to now than before I put the videos up. And the videos weren't great or anything, but I mean, it's just, oh, what about this place? What about this place? Now, I know a few other places. I went to one island. There was about 14 people on the whole island. And it was me and my wife, and we had our own bungalow, and we're out in the middle of the jungle. There's nobody there. We're out on the front porch doing whatever we wanted to do, laughing and joking, and I was like, now this is the life. I don't have to worry about people. And even in my village, I go in my village. 99% of the time there is no noise. Very little noise. As soon as I come out of the village, there's garbage. There's people selling shit. There's people doing all kinds of things. And I just go, I want to go back into my house. No. No, the weekends, there's not many people on any of the beaches there. And this is the thing. Now, if I can get down there again, you see, the thing is, we have a house in Suwon. You know, I kind of like the house now. It's growing on me. And, you know, we have fruit and vegetables down there, so that's growing on me. It's not exactly in the kind of place that I love, which is like right on the beach. I'm in a little bungalow. I walk out. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is fantastic. Look at this. I'm going swimming. And now I got my my DJI action cam. And I'm dying to go, you know, swimming. I'm dying to go, well, at least skin diving. Dying to use it. So I'm going to have to use it. Anyway, let me get back to this here. Yeah, I hear that every once in a while, how Hua Hin, oh, it's so nice here. Hua Hin is a tourist trap. I hate to tell you this. If you knew what Hua Hin was 10 to 20 years ago, compared to now, you would be like, what the hell happened to this place? Because I went there, oh my God, I went there about 2 years ago. And when I got there and I started walking around, I'm like, there's traffic up the yin yang. There was a horse on the beach. They were letting somebody ride on the horse, and there was a guy walking around with a bucket behind his ass, catching the shit as the horse shit. And not only that, it's polluted quite often. And to me, it is just another tourist trap now. It's not a quiet little town. It's not, oh, it's so quaint here. That used to be Prachuap. Now even Prachuap is not like that. And this is a problem. To me, it's a problem. There'll be people out there, oh yeah, I used to go scuba diving and I did this and I did that and I go here and I go there and I'm only spending 300 baht. Okay, good for you. I used to live, I got a video. The video tomorrow is about how when I first came here, when I first moved here, I was living on $1,000 a month and I was saving 500 of it. But that was 30 years ago. You know. Anyway, you put it all together and the visual, the picture is not good here. It's bad. And Thailand's reputation as an easy, welcoming place for foreigners has been fading, and it continues to fade. That's the truth. You don't want to believe me? Don't believe me. I don't care. That's the way I look at it. And you know what? I try to look at it through a very unfiltered view. Now, what is this? Shall I go to Phuket? Oh, go to Phuket. It's full of Russians, and you're going to have a great time. That place is even more touristy than Hua Hin. It's quieter than Pattaya, but that's about it, and that's not saying a lot. Yes. Why do they allow such a big sex industry? Wow, I don't know. I wonder why. Could it be all the money that they make from it? Could it be because it helps all the girls that are not able to make a living doing anything else, or they would be dirt poor? Now they make a halfway decent living, and all they have to do is lay on their back and cheat farang or do whatever they're doing with them. Not that they all do that, but because they're making money off it just like weed. Well, of course they make money from it. That's what I said. And as far as the weed goes, well, what have you heard lately about how they're going to change the weed system into medicinal use only? What have you heard about that lately? Nothing. You haven't heard anything. Because they're not going to change it. I went to Phuket last year and couldn't believe the prices. Yeah, I mean, it is quite expensive. That's another thing. I didn't even talk about that. It was like every time I wanted to go somewhere, it was a couple $100 baht. It was a pain in the ass. Thailand's changing, man. Most expats looking towards Cambodia and Vietnam. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say most. Some. Because I can tell you, as an expat here, and I put my time in here, I know this country. I know the routine. I know how to live here very comfortably. I would never bring my family to Cambodia to live or to Vietnam to live. I would never do that. I would bring them somewhere that would, to me, is a step up, which is Portugal. Because really, you need a little bit more money. Portugal, Ecuador, maybe Ecuador's a step up. I don't know. Maybe it's the same. Costa Rica, something like that. But I would definitely not bring them somewhere else. I mean, maybe Bali, but that's a stretch even. But U.S. tourists contribute to the economy. I don't understand what that means. It contributes to this economy? Thailand's lost its charm. Well, I've said it for a long time. Thailand is done. You can say it still has a lot of wonderful things. Yes, it does. You can say all these, whatever you want to say. Thailand's still great. But as far as being what it used to be 30 years ago, I don't care what anybody tells you. It is just not the same, man. The vibe is not the same. And it never will be. It's not going back. It's like when the prices go up, they don't come down. Now, I was very surprised to hear Trump say that maybe all this money that they're finding, they may give it back to people. I'm like, wow, that's a novel approach, man. I can't believe they even said that. Let's hope that happens. The U.S. does not tax my Social Security. You have to make border runs every 3 months, no retirement visa there, right? $25 for the border run, and you don't have to whack a stack of cash in an Asian bank account. Who cares about that? You're saying it's a stack of cash. To some people, it's very little money. It's not much. If you're retiring, $23,000 is not that much money. And you know what? I can tell you, there's a big difference between saying, I want to travel to Nepal, I want to go to Tibet, and another saying, gosh, I have to do a visa run and go to Cambodia, or I have to do a visa run and go to Laos, or wherever it is. There's a huge difference. The difference is you have to and you don't have to. And that's a big difference. I have a Siamese heart, an English stomach, and I don't wear rose-colored spectacles. Although there is a large market of tourists who come here for the very things that we abhor, we never can change that. I don't know, what are the very things we abhor? It's already an overpriced... Oh, shit. Oh, man. Son of a bitch. I'm going to have to get some glue on my shoes here. They're starting to fall apart. My Vietnamese shoes. It's already a pain in the ass. Man, I'm lost. This is true, but if you don't have the cash, you probably shouldn't be living in any Asian country. True. U.S. is, well, USA. Where to find peace? I have my peace, man. I quite like Malaysia, but that's going the same way as Thailand. Definitely. If you go rural, anywhere in Southeast Asia is fine. It's getting messed up. Wherever everyone goes, get away from that. Anywhere and you're good. The overcrowded tourist areas. You're lucky, Scott. I'm not lucky. You could say it's luck, but I did it because I wanted to. I had a plan. I implemented it. Boom. Here I am, 30 years later. That's what I say. It's not luck. It has nothing to do with luck. Yes, I had some luck along the way, but it doesn't have anything to do with luck. I knew what I wanted. I went after it, and I got it. It's that simple. All right, where are we here? 95 minutes. The government hasn't outright said we don't want foreigners, but these changes certainly make it feel that way. It's becoming harder to retire here, harder to bank here, and possibly more expensive with future tax laws. And that says it all right now. Are they slowly pushing us out? I don't want to think that they are, but maybe they are. They might be, you know. And if they want to push me out, well, I got a lot of leeway because I don't have to worry about much. But if they make it so difficult for me that I have to go, now I pay, 3 times more and it sucks. And okay, well then I'll find somewhere else to live. And my wife, she loves her job, but she's always stressed out. She'll go, okay, well, now I got this much and we have this much and together, okay, this is what we're going to do. We'll make a plan and we'll do it. And I know that that's simplifying things, but that's how I think. Because the thing is you just look at the options that you have. I've already been to Laos, and I've been to Laos many times. Laos is not the place I want to go, man. I'm not going to that place. There's no way I would live in Laos. It's too backwards, man. For those already here, it might not be enough to push you out yet, but if you're considering Thailand as a retirement destination, you better think long and hard about whether it is still the right place, and that pretty much sums it up. You better think about it. Give it a month, and if they don't say, okay, now people can start to open bank accounts again, if it goes on and it drags on and on, man, why would you come here? I mean, this is coming from me. I mean, I came here with $10,000 and money coming in every month. It wasn't a huge amount, but I pulled it off. But that was a long time ago. It's not the same now. Let me tell you how long ago it was. I was younger. I had a lot more hair. I was thinner. I was more fit. I was probably a little bit nicer and naive. But that was a long time ago, man. So would I come back now? I don't think so. I think I would pick somewhere else. I don't know that I'd go to Mexico, but I might go to Ecuador. I might go to Portugal. I might go to like Sardinia. That'd be a little more expensive. Malta, somewhere like that. Maybe I'd pick 2 places. I'd go to 2 places instead of just one. I don't know. And it also depends on what my wife likes. And at this juncture, we're not really in a position where we're going, okay, let's get out of here. We don't want to get out of here. For what? What do I got to get out of here for? You can't buy property here. And I find it funny because the other day I had a guy come in and he goes, oh, I bought this piece of land and I own this house. And I go, wait a minute. You own the house. You can own the house, but you don't own the land. Now, you may have a company that owns the land, which is, okay, maybe it's fine. You may lease it for 30 years, but you don't own it outright. Not you. So you got to remember that. What did you do for work when you were younger? I was a lighter repairman. No. I was a printer. Then I was an estimator. Then I had a company where I sold printing to people, and I was the middleman. Then when I came here, I worked in boxing. I was a journalist for about 11 years, 12 years. And then I worked in boxing. I was an assistant trainer. I was a matchmaker. I was a whatever you want to call it. I did that for about 10 years. And then that's about it. I've owned my company as a solo director since 2005. No Thai director. Well, I don't know how you did that. And are you an American? Maybe that's how you did it. I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. People don't know. They called me the cleaner. Swedish, okay. I don't know what kind of deals you have where you can do that, but I know Americans can do that. They have a treaty where they can do that, but I don't know about for Swedes. Okay, so let's just basically to sum it up. Oops. What we have here is not a legal ban, but a reactionary policy by the banks due to the crackdown on scams. Do most foreigners have the required money amount for retirement visa? It doesn't really matter. First of all, I don't know. But I would say it doesn't really matter as long as they show the money. They may not have the money. Who knows? They could be borrowing it from their parents. They could be, borrowing it from a friend. It could be their money. It could be an agent's money. It could be whoever. As long as they show that, that's all that counts. Best places to live in Bangkok as an expat that detest tourists. Best places to live as an expat that detest tourists. Come on, man. I mean, Bangkok is full of tourists. However, like where I live, Bangkapi, say Ratchada, say Ramkhamhaeng, there's not a lot of, there's no real tourists. There may be a few, but there are a few expats, but that's about it. You're going to have expats pretty much everywhere. I mean, Hui Kwang. Most really can't afford it, to be honest, just enough to sit on a bar stool every day and be miserable. Why do you say that, Robert? That's complete horseshit. There are agencies who circumvent the system. It's not only about the agencies. That's the thing. Nobody has any idea how many people legitimately put the money in the bank, how many use agents, how many are borrowing money from somebody for 2 or 3 months or whatever, and then every year they do that. I mean, I know people that's what they do. I know one guy, his mother gives him the money, he puts it in the bank, he just keeps it there. It's his mother's money, it's not his. It doesn't matter, he's got the money in the bank. Most definitely would have a few beers with you and talk life in Thailand if you're keen on meeting up sometimes. I've got a load of stories. Been living in Phuket and Bangkok since 2005. Oh. Well, I'm usually here all the time. Does retirement visa need an annual renewal? Well, a retirement visa has something called a stay of extension, and you have to do it every year, so yes. And Robert, I just look at your comment, and that's such bullshit. Listen, if you're somebody who all you do is sit on a bar stool, you better get a new life, man. Well, what's that tell you about some foreigners who live in Pai? Oh God, I don't know. I'm not a drinker, man. I couldn't tell you my top 3. My top 3 are wherever I'm at, wherever I feel like going at the time. I mean, I've been to pubs, I've been to Robin Hood and the Londoner and, all these kind of places. But, are they my favorite? No, because I don't drink much, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, the short-term impacts. Tourists and expats struggle with money management. Long-stay tourists, retirees, and expats who rely on local accounts for daily expenses, bill payments, or income deposits are now stuck. Could be. I mean, I can only imagine what would happen if I wasn't able to have any money in any of my bank accounts here. I don't know exactly what I would do. You know? Inconvenience for business owners and digital nomads. Those running businesses or freelancing in Thailand will have a harder time receiving payments or handling expenses. And people will now rely more on foreign credit cards, Wise, Remitly Transfer, or ATMs, all of which come with fees. And that's the thing. All of these come with fees. I have 2 bank cards in America. I have Wise, and I've thought about changing my Wise from a Thai account into the US account. I just have to find out, and I haven't called them, but I need to find out and get a US card from them, because supposedly now you can get a US card from them. Although they have in the past said the card that you have is no longer any good. You're not allowed to use it anymore. So that's something else to think about. I once sat in a bar stool in Australia when I was 18. Never really since. Good morning, Scott and all. Good morning, Mr. Dowlo. Is your wife here yet? Russians and Israelis changing the vibe. Did you forget Chinese and Indians? Last year I visited Chiang Mai, and most of the foreigners in the co-working spaces are working on AI projects. Oh, God. Yeah, okay. I don't deal in co-working spaces. Good for them. You know, really. Hey, Jim. Hi, Dowlo. Hey, guys, what's happening? All right, listen. I got 41 thumbs up. That's really nice. Hey, that's great. But I've had 80 people in the stream. So I should have 80 thumbs up or somewhere near there. You know. Of course, it's 80 people, but they're rotating, so there's actually a lot more. So I would think I should have at least maybe 75 thumbs up. So I would appreciate it if you would go and click the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, you would do that. Now, you know what? I wasn't going to come here today, and quite honestly, I'm getting tired of coming here. And I don't mean because their coffee's not that good or I got to spend the money or anything like that. I'm just thinking to myself, you know, I did a video. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, Thailand's biggest lie. Now, for a long time, my videos, for some reason, maybe it's because of some of the things that I've said in the past, which may not have been so politically correct, I haven't really done all that well with my videos. They just are not nearly as what they used to be. And guess what? There's the video right there. Thailand's, what's the name of it? Thailand's biggest lie, the truth you won't hear anywhere else. Well, whatever. That video is doing very well. And I'm like, wow, okay. Ooh, that's great. And I'm going to put another one up tomorrow. When I lived on $500 a month and saved $500 a month. And that's kind of a little story, so that's great to know. But, you know, if you want to go down in the description, everything's down in the description. Whatever you want to do. You want to look at at my social media. You want to contact me. You want to show the love. There's all kinds of things down there, all kinds of ways. You want to become a member of the channel. It's $1.99, all right? And I'm starting to do a lot more again because I'm starting to see some numbers go up, and I'm like, hey, this is working. So, you know, you missed everything, Dowlo. I'm sorry. She's been there since the 31st. Oh, I don't know why I thought she was just coming over. I subbed and thumbs up. Oh, thank you. Who is living in Vietnam? I don't know. Good question. No idea. But I'm here in Thailand. Let me see something here. Yes, I do. There we go, Pakamara. You can say hello. Hello, hello, hello. Look at this place. I don't know what's going on here. Oops, there we go. Food court. Food court runs all the way down to here and all the way over to there. All kinds of foods. And you know what? I don't usually eat at the food courts. You know why? Because I buy my own food and I make my own food. Do you offer consultation calls? Well, the email is down below in the description. Yes, I do. I think Vietnamese are living in Vietnam. I might be wrong, though. You don't have to be a smart ass. Dowlo. There we go. That was one fad Grab delivery driver. Oh, I don't know. I didn't even see that. Okay, if you say so. Anyway, tomorrow, like I said, video coming up. It is how I spent $500 and saved $500. Hell no. Why would I ever go back to live in the United States? Really, why? There's nothing, okay? There's no reason. The only thing that maybe I would do is if my parents needed help, if I needed to deal with some things back there, I would go back for as long as I needed. But then I would get out again. And, I have a family. I'm not going to leave my family behind and leave them here for a year or something like that. It's just not going to happen. Scotty don't play that. I've heard. What are the benefits of living in Pattaya? Getting a woman's like going to 7-Eleven? I don't know. I mean, I've been there many, many times, and I think you should go at least once or twice. And other than that, well, I don't really like Pattaya. Kapkao Kapla is my favorite mall restaurant. Oh, okay. I know that restaurant. Pattaya is all about gents clubs, fish and chips, and English breakfast. Gents clubs? Are you out of your mind? It's about beer bars and go-go's. The gents clubs are in the minority. You want to go to gents clubs, come to Bangkok. I used to go to them all the time, and they are genuine gents clubs. Coyote dancers, all that kind of stuff. Membership fees. You get a number of bottles. You get mixers. That's a gents club. Hello, I'm a new viewer. Has the Bangkok air affected your health or lifestyle? No. This is a very interesting time in the U.S. Looking in from the outside, I wonder how it'll be looked on in history. I don't know. I mean, I always wonder about that, but guess what? You'll never know. You're never going to be certain. It's hard to be certain about that because, look at now how history has been rewritten by some. I'm still waiting for my request to pay reparations for slavery. Yeah, okay. No offense, but I think I'll have to throw that in the garbage. How many years does Thailand have left? No clue, man. I've been here 30 years. It's been okay. You say 5 to 10. Listen, 5-10 years ago, I was going, Thailand's going down the toilet. Thailand has so many experiences to offer. It's not going to run out of time for some people. There's always going to be some Chinese, some Southeast Asians coming here. They're the ones who make up the majority of tourists anyway. And then you look at people like Americans, Brits, Australians. You know, to some people, the things that they're talking about, the problems that they're talking about here are not really problems. Most of the stuff here, it's not a problem for me. It's a first world problem. Oh, where do I want to live? I want to live where there's cleaner air. Okay, well then I got to go there. Well, guess what? That means if I want to be without my wife, okay. I don't particularly like sleeping alone every night. And do I not want to have my kids with me? Of course I do. I want to have them somewhere in the area, you know. Elon is looking at people's Social Security. Yeah, I know. And, you know, there's 300-year-olds collecting Social Security. Wonder how that worked out. They don't hit the bars. Would you prefer to live in another country at this moment? No, not really. Why? I'm comfortable here. You know, you guys may not understand it, but, and I've said this before, and I don't mean to like throw this in anybody's face, but I'm very comfortable here. I don't have a problem communicating to Thais at all. So I don't have that problem. I got enough money to be happy. I got enough money to where I'm stable. I'm married, so I got a woman. She's a good woman. I got kids, and they're progressing in their own ways. So, you know, as far as everything else goes, what do I have to worry about? Not much. Jim, it's the same in our area, always changing for the better. Yeah, and sometimes you think, oh, God, that's going to be horrible. And then the next thing you know, you go, wow, it's starting to look better now. Thank you. You know, I mean, like for me, a lot of these problems are minuscule. The tax issue, why? It's probably not going to affect me very much. In all honesty, I don't think it's going to affect me very much where I'm going to go, oh, I'm going to have to pay $100,000 this year. I'm going to have to pay $200,000 this year. It's not going to affect me. It's not going to affect me that way. And if it does, I'll go somewhere else. You know, I mean, the banking thing, okay, it's not affecting me at all. I got a bunch of different bank accounts. I got all kinds of bank accounts for this express reason. If something happens, you got a backup and another backup and another backup and another backup. So there you go. There it is there. If this drags on, some foreigners may look at other Southeast Asian countries and elsewhere in the world that make banking easier, that make things a lot easier in general. Thailand could slow down the property purchases, investments, and retiree spending as confidence in Thailand's banking accessibility takes a hit. It's already taken a hit. All it takes is one day where they go, oh, we're tightening the restriction. Foreigners can't open accounts. Boom. That reputation takes a hit. They're so concerned about their image, but they're not doing anything about this. They're not coming out saying things. Because it's just kind of like, well, it's not a law, so it's not a problem. Well, it is a problem. If you're not allowing people to open bank accounts, that's a problem. But they won't say anything about it. The government might introduce stricter know your customer policy or new visa-linked bank system to allow trusted foreigners access to accounts again. Now, I don't really care about that, but, you know, they've got to track everything here, and it just never ends. It really never, ever ends. Have you seen the new sensation in Thailand? Mateo's World. No, I haven't. I don't know. Maybe, I'm a little slow sometimes. I don't need to see everything. Why are you putting someone else's YouTube up on my channel? Why are you doing that? I don't know who this guy is. I don't know him from Adam. I have no idea who this person is. And I don't really want to. I don't care about this person. Stupid. It's just stupid to do that, really. 73 in the chat and only 51 thumbs up. Yeah, what's going on? Oh my goodness. I thought Thailand wanted to go cashless. How are tourists supposed to pay for things? Well, I think for tourists, cash and credit card, they work just perfectly. I think for people who live here, now it's given me time to think about the QR code, and do I really want to pay by QR code? Because I think to myself, I'd rather keep the cash and stash it somewhere and pay that way, than to pay by QR code, because I don't want to get caught with some kind of an issue with my bank account. And they're like, oh, well, you're going to have to submit this and that and this, and I've got 300,000 sitting in the bank. And I'm like, what's going on? I don't want those kind of problems, and I really don't need those kind of problems. So, anyway, that is what's going on, and that is why Thailand's reputation has taken another hit. The thing is, Dowlo, is in order to use the QR code, you have to have a bank account from here or from somewhere else in Southeast Asia. And if you can't have a bank account here, for most people, it's very difficult to do anything. And yeah, life is hard, That's how it works. I see this girl walk by every single day. She works in the grocery store. She's like 6 foot tall. She's huge. She's a nice looking girl. She's been working there for like 10 years. So anyway, I see her all the time. She walks by, smiles, like, all right, whatever. There it is there. So if Thailand's going to go cashless, I would think it would be for more than just Thai people. But honestly, I think that the reason that all this is happening, and nobody has said anything about this, or not many people at least have said anything about this. The news has said things about this. The reason that they're looking through all these bank accounts is because of the call center scams. It's not because, we have to look into all these foreigners. No, that's an offshoot of it. They just want to make sure. But, okay, we're caught in the crossfire. Having a bank account here, I am still considered a tourist. I don't know what to tell you. You have a bank account and you're a tourist, and you're lucky. Well, if Dowlo lived here full time, I would say, yes, you're not a tourist. But you come here for 2 or 3 months, and maybe they, I don't know how they're going to react. They may say, oh yeah, you're a tourist. Do you have a retirement visa, or are you here on a tourist or a visa-free entry? That's the determinant. Because somebody said to me the other day, why do you say, why don't you say that you're an immigrant? Why do you say that you're an expat? And I said, well, I didn't say I was an expat. I said I was an immigrant. But the truth is, I'm a non-immigrant. And you know why? Because that's what the visa says. So that's what counts. Am I? Not I am. Don't mess with my head, man. You're doing my head in. Anyway, wow, got a lot of people here. I made big money today. Lucky me. All I can say is thank you. Nothing wrong with being an expat, Farang, and I'm here on a 60-day on entry. Completed my TM30 in 10 minutes, and I'm all good to go. Well, that's good, Dowlo. I'm glad you're all set. Now the fun begins. Here we go. Now, today I was gonna go down to the Chao Phraya or Klong Tui or somewhere, and I just thought, why? I don't think people really appreciate it, so why would I do that? They're not here to see a place. If I show places, I've shown plenty of places already, and that's good. If I feel like going, I'll go. I want to go to the, what have I talked about lately? The gold, what is it called? Blue Gold Coffee. I was there once before. They have servals. They have all kinds of animals. It's a mini zoo. It's a better zoo than like Pata Zoo, in my opinion. But I kind of was thinking about going there. I was thinking about going down to the Chao Phraya again. But I don't really want to go on the boat. And if I go on the boat, I'll go to Nonthaburi, and hang out somewhere. I don't know. So, I've been to Klong Tui so many times, man. Nobody knows about this. I've been there before I even was streaming. I've been there. And I photographed that place extensively. The only thing I have left to do is to bring my drone and fly my drone there. I'd like to do that. But other than that, I don't really have that much to do there. I mean, I can photograph it again. I can do all kinds of things. Do whatever I want. I can try to find that canal that's toxic, smells like chemicals. There's all kinds of things I can do. But basically, the reason I wanted to go there is to see how it's progressed. Have they knocked down any buildings? Are they building anything new there? Because they supposedly were going to kick some of the people out and then give them housing. And, those kind of things happen very, very slowly here in Thailand. And what happens is everything takes place slowly. It's like you're sitting there and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and you go, it's never going to happen. And then one day, boom, something happens, and in like 3 days, you're like, wow, it's completely different now. They changed everything. And that's probably what's going to happen there. I don't know that it's happened already, but, I went there maybe a year ago, maybe 6 months ago. I don't really remember. But I want to go back. And, I'll walk around there. I'll do stuff like that. But I'd like to find a good little coffee shop where I go hang out for a while. We will always be Farang in their eyes, never even Thai if we speak and read Thai. Well, I just did a video about that. You will never be Thai. First live I've watched, good channel, sub, thank you. Maybe you can say you're a Native American like Liz Warren. Well, why would I say that if I'm not? That's not my demeanor. I don't do those kind of things. Hey, I loved your 3-hour stroll. Okay, wonder if it looks any different now. Well, that's what I kind of want to go see. Pretty sure it's not against the law. What's against the law? I don't know. I've been to Klong Tui many times. Photographed the insides there. I photographed all the monitor lizards. I've photographed guys with guns. I photographed all kinds of things. And quite frankly, it might be fun. I'm sure the time will pass fast, Can do what you want. I wonder if anyone marks the geolocation of a spot and then goes back a year or two later. I don't know. I don't really care. I know a lot of people have done stuff and they're like, oh, wow, look at Klong Tui. And I'm like, well, I've been there. I was there 10 years ago. I was there 20 years ago. Okay, great. I'm glad you went there you know, and you saw some good things there, what else you gonna say? You know, have at it. Have a little fun. Anyway, all right, we're out of time. We're out of time. Now, is Thailand still worth it to you? Well, I think it depends on your situation. Some people will adjust. Some people will deal with it, the extra hassle, and just stay here. That's probably me. And other people might go, oh, it's too much trouble. I don't want to deal with it. So I'd kind of like to know your thoughts on this. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Do these changes bother you? Are you going to stick to it here no matter what? What are you going to do? Are you saying, oh, maybe I won't come to Thailand now and live here? Maybe I'll go somewhere else. What are you thinking? Have I eaten in any Mindy restaurant? I've been to Mindy several times. And yes, I've eaten there, but I don't remember the names of the restaurants. You can just take a boat to go to Mindy very easily. Is there a homestay there? Where? In Klong Tui? I don't know. I wouldn't stay in Klong Tui. I just don't want to. I'm going to get to the Bangkabi Mall this trip. That's great. Glad to hear it. Let the wife go shopping and hopefully catch up. Leave the wife at home. Jim, that sounds like a plan. Oh, I'll be at Bangkabi Mall a week from now. I'm going to stick with Thailand no matter what. Well, that's good to know. Really. You know, I mean, they got to do what they got to do to keep things safe. But sometimes I think they overdo it a little bit. I mean, you know, I always say what they do is they come up with an idea, they throw it on the wall, they hope it sticks. And whatever does stick, then they kind of keep with that. And they go, oh, wow, this is really working out. Or they see there's a lot of backlash and they go, oh, let's try something else. So, seems like the higher the price things and the more hassle they make it, the more suckers fly in. Well, I think it's just there's a lot of people around the world who want to see Thailand. They want to experience it. I'm sure there's a lot of Chinese that have come over here and they're like, I'm never going back. You know? So, anyway. Wonderful stream today. Yes. Lots of people. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Like I said, watch my video tomorrow. Well, the CASHAPP is not a Thai thing. It doesn't work with my Thai number. The CASHAPP is a U.S. app. It works for people in the U.S. Now, I'm in Thailand. It doesn't matter where I am. If I have a U.S. bank account, if I am a U.S. citizen, anybody who sends me anything through the CASHAPP, I get the money. I just send it over to my U.S. bank account, and it goes over there, and no problems. And I love the CASHAPP. I really do like the CASHAPP. It's one of my favorite. I like Wise. I like the CASHAPP. Those are my favorites. I like the CASHAPP better than anything because you don't pay a damn thing. No fees. So, okay. If you enjoyed the stream, please click thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you have a question or you need any advice, you want a consultation, you can email me at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. If you want to send me a Dear Scott letter or book a consultation or whatever it is, you just want to say, hey, email me. So, thank you. All right, what am I seeing here? I got to just read these real quick. If they change the lease from 30, profit market is over. Okay, whatever. Thanks. I don't worry about what if. Robert, I use a credit card in Australia. I can tap my mobile at most places here in Thailand. Went to the Grand Palace around 8 years ago, and the only thing I remember were the Emerald Buddha and being swarmed by Chinese tourists. There you go. I don't want to be swarmed by Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Indians, Russians. I don't want to be swarmed by anybody. I don't want to be swarmed by Americans. No, so it's not there's no offense to anybody else. It's not to one demographic. I don't want to be swarmed by anybody. I like my peace and quiet. And maybe there was a time when I used to crank up the radio full blast, and I still like doing that. And you know, I used to like live with a bunch of people, and we used to party all the time, and woohoo, yeah. But you know what? I'm an old man. I don't want to hear all these things. I don't want to see all kinds of chaotic shit. You go into the middle of Bangkok, you go into Ho Chi Minh or the middle of Hanoi, they're all chaotic. I don't want to see them. I don't want to be around them. I want to be somewhere quiet. And I don't necessarily want to be out in bumfuck Egypt somewhere where I'm not close to anything. So that's the dilemma. Anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate it. What's today? Today's Friday. Hopefully I'll be on Sunday. Like I said, I got a video going up tomorrow morning. And that's about it. That's about all I have. So, I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Thank you very much for joining me. And until next time, choke di leo jerkin mai, which means good luck and see you again. What kind of question is that? Is it true foreigners live in a room with a fan? Some do. We have air conditioning, actually have air conditioning in our house. Wow. And we have a fan. We have a couple of fans. Thanks, Scott. Sorry I was so late, but I enjoyed what I did watch. Okay. Hua Hin is your retirement plan? Not mine. No way. Hua Hin is on the way down. You're going to have to come up with some better places. Phuket, Pattaya, Hua Hin, even Prachuap, Chiang Mai. There are better places. Anyway, thank you, and I will talk to you all later. Take care.